I'm going to gallop at pace through the Neptune. Any strong word from Ireland?
No, shit, we're on the Neptune.
No particularly strong word. I have to get my
on the Neptune, you're going to win it.
Oh, the Neptune, sorry. Yeah, Oscar as well for me. Great chance. And a lot of money for Willie's horse. They seem to think an awful lot of him now. Willie's given him as he's bet at the festival. I think Paul Townend is really sweetening him so young. For me, I really like Oscar as well. I think they just haven't gotten to the bottom of him. I think his Leopardstown form is solid. Very good chance, I think.
Okay, So Young seems to be all the rage in all the Irish festival previews. When we had Matt Chapman with us yesterday, just back from Ireland, everyone's raving about So Young. Quickly on the Neptune, Couch, strong view?
I've laid Oscar's Wells at the fact because he was 6-1 when he won over in Ireland last time, and I think if Jesse had a really good horse, it wouldn't have started that price, and I think 7-2 is far too short. I think the weight of money for So Young will probably end up that favourite. I think they're very strong vibes coming out of there, though the formbook says Oscar Wells is better. I've laid it at a price. Bobsworth I'm very interested in, of Nicky Henderson's. I don't think he's done anything wrong. I like the way it came up to Cheltenham. Apparently he doesn't do much at home at Nicky Henderson's, but I think that form's quite solid. When he beat Rock on Ruby and that at Cheltenham. I know Paul obviously know more about Rock on Ruby than I will. And I like Bobsworth. I like Cheltenham form at Cheltenham, and Nicky's got a terrible record in the race. But yeah, I'm slightly favourite. I've laid Oscar as well for a fair bit, and I think Bosworth will run a big race.
Anthony, any of these that you've handled?
Well, I'm worried that the Couch is negative on Oscar as well, because I know he knows the Irish. He goes to Ireland quite a bit, and because I was getting the feeling from my Irish sort of thing that Oscar as well was going to be my nap at the meeting, or for the nap of the Wednesday. Obviously, So Young got a strong feeling. I was taking a view that the English novices weren't as good as the Irish novices, but we don't know that till Cheltenham next week. Obviously, we have to take a view one way or the other. Obviously, the best English novices are Bobsworth and Rock on Ruby. I think that is solid form. Alan King keeps telling me Habby Simpson, that was well beaten by them, he's a good horse. He said, don't underestimate Bobsworth and Rock on Ruby. And I think, well, at those odds, Rock on Ruby's quite interesting. See what Paul says. I was pretty strong on Oscar as well. I'm starting to worry now. You said that?
No, I mean, you must be aware that following Couch's advice can see the value of your investment go down as well as up. And your house may be at risk if you follow. But, I mean, it's all about opinions, isn't it? Oscar's well, funnily enough, I interviewed Jessica Harrington that morning before the horse ran, and she wasn't wildly optimistic, and that's why the horse went off at a big price. However, doesn't
negate the horse need to show as much at home? I mean,
absolutely. He won his race very well. I thought he looked like he was in slow motion a wee bit. But let's get the Timeform.
There was one thing that you said. I don't know how Bobsworth is at home. He did a gallops at Newbury on Sunday morning, and he flew. Right. So I mean, they were very happy with how he worked on Sunday morning at Newbury.
I'm talking about Nicky. You see the likes of Spirit Sun in that. I mean, he worked very well at home in Oscar Whiskey when he won the race at Cheltenham. They just back him like there's no tomorrow. They also work well at home like Spirit Sun. In Bobsworth as well. I mean, when it ran at Cheltenham, it was 5-1. Rock and Ruby was 9-2. I backed them both each way to beat Paul Backspin, who's unfortunately not with us. And that's the reason Bobsworth went off a price. The fact that it's always been a lazy worker at home.
And I'm getting asked questions at these panels. Is Bobsworth definitely going for the 2.5 as opposed to the 3? Because it was looking like he was going the 3 miles. A couple of weeks ago, Nicky was definitely aiming at the 3 mile. Minella Class got beat in the trial at Huntingdon. Minella Class still runs in the Neptune. He did blow up that day, but they are concerned that he's not good enough to go in as a first strike sort of horse. So they are leaving Bobsworth in the 2.5. It does appear that way.
With the intention of running, or is it
no, Bobsworth looks like he's going to run in the 2.5. That does appear to be what's happening at the moment.
Okay, Timeform, decide it for us, sort it out.
Very difficult to rate. So Young, he's only had a bare handful of impressive visual starts. Very difficult to put a figure on him. I'm very surprised. Bobsworth just doesn't seem to have the sort of sexy profile. He's drifted again overnight. He was sort of 6.4 this time last night. He's out to 7.2. He holds Rock on Ruby. He holds all the other UK novices. From that point of view, I think that will be good enough to see him in the 3. If he's odds against a place, I think that's the bet of the race.
Paul, I made the mistake of backing Alpha off for this race before I heard you decide on an option for him. Anything that you particularly like in this race, or what's your take on it?
Well, we got Rock on Ruby. Can you hear?
Yeah, far away.
Yeah, Rock on Ruby. Was second to Bobsworth the other day. Poor Harry lost his range, lost his stick. Probably came the wrong side of Bobsworth. I think a different day, better ground. I think we could have a chance of beating Bobsworth. Oscar as well has had form in very soft ground. This could be different. I know Ruby is very keen on So Young, and I think you'll find Ruby will end up riding this, and Darrell's going to ride Rock on Ruby. But the weather forecast is good for us. We don't want soft ground. The better the ground for us. And I think Rock and Ruby and Bobsworth is the best form of the English horses.